Anyway, let's move on to what everybody probably came here to talk about, and that is Vitor Belfort's fight against Luke Rockhold. And the first thing I'm going to go say is George and I made it very clear that if Vitor Belfort is jacked, and I know everybody who saw that fight knew that was the case. And
go to Twitter.
Go to Twitter.
Anyone who watches our show went out and tweeted and even retweeted us and sent us messages. And you can tell, like, if you look at Vitor now and look at him 5 years ago, he doesn't look the same. Yeah. No one ages 5 fucking years and looks better. Not in your 30s. This shit doesn't fucking happen. Yeah, without some help.
And it's not just the TRT. It's the G. It was the distended. When he took off his shirt, you can see his midsection's a little distended. Come on. Anybody who's played with hardcore gear, anybody who knows how it goes, knows the signs. I don't even have to sit there and preach it to you. His stomach's distended. All this was filled out for a physique that's lean. You know, those are classic signs of GH, TRT, and all that stuff. And his skin was grainy as fuck.
You could see that shit at the weigh-ins.
The thing is, I don't understand any of it, how any of these fighters can take it, because it's such an unfair advantage. I'm not saying that I'm all against it. If you're going to be able to take it, let them all take it.
Let me tell you right now, if this kid was a fighter, I just saw commercials for fucking roll-on test underneath the armpits. Mm-hmm. Shorty, I would have roll-on test. I'd have fucking test up under my nutsack. I'd have needles hanging out of my ass. I'd have bulging eyeballs, and I'd be ready to rip everyone's limbs off and beat them to death.
And you know what? I would be going the same route. And there are a lot of people that are frowned on that. But let me tell you something. When you're fighting, you're going to win. I want to fucking win. And you know what? Ultimately, I want that fat paycheck so I can take care of my family and pay my fucking bills. So anything fucking goes. But the bottom line is this. I don't want to go into a environment where one person's allowed to have it and I can't have it, or if it's changed here, if we fight here or this. It's so fucking confusing that if they don't put a stop to it or change the rules or something, or say, you know what, it doesn't matter. You know, part of getting old, if I'm a fucking football player, okay, all right, I know my old ass, I can't sit there and quarterback hands a ball off to me. I can't go up the field because the first linebacker that comes through the hole and hits me, this nigga turns to dust, and somebody's coming out there with a fucking dustpan and a plastic bag, and they're saying, Miss White, here's your son, motherfucker, is just disintegrated on the football field.
And that's the thing. If you look at, just take this over to the NFL, at 30, running backs don't play anymore.
They don't play anymore.
Why not?
Why?
Here we have a sport where at 30, you seem to be hitting your peak and getting better.
Yeah.
How come in fighting in the 30s, you're just starting to hit your prime when you're accelerating, but in every other sport, dude, when you hit 30, they're like, nah, you might want to think about retiring, pimpin'.
Right. I mean, you're looking at it, you look at every other sport or mainstream sport, and I know that Dana White and the Zuffa brothers want to make this a mainstream sport, but there's some point you have got to get a hold of this fucking TRT bullshit, because if you look at the NFL, when your days are numbered, you can only play to a certain age. Now, all of a sudden, I know, man, this motherfucker's living foul. But
dude, no, I'm living clean. That's the difference. When you eat good shit, body. Yeah, I told you. But things are nasty, dude. Paleo meatballs. Oof.
But getting back to it, it's like, if you can't, in basketball, football, baseball,
none of those sports have TRT exemptions, by the way.
Right. Because you know what? When Father Time catches up with you, then it's time to let the younger generation, it's time to fucking go. You know what? Now I look at a guy that's coming up in MMA, okay?
Like Luke Rockhold?
Yeah, no, he's coming up. And then you look at somebody who's Vitor Belfort's fought since he's 18, younger than that actually, held numerous titles, great fighter, you know, not taking anything away from that. But now your body is gone. You know, you've worn it out through fighting. You're starting to get older. Your test levels are declining. And now I'm going to say that I'm going to give you an unfair advantage to take away from this guy being able to move when his career is just blossoming. It's just fucked up.
Now, with all you Vitor fans out there, and I understand, I used to be a Vitor fan back in the day. I'm not saying I'm not now. Now, just do me this one favor, okay? Mm-hmm. Take your blinders off. Go look at one of Vitor's previous positive tests for steroids. He went to an endocrinologist. Mm-hmm. Okay, just look that up for me and tell me what it is. Mm-hmm. Now, tell me why, if you're having a knee problem, these are here, why you would be at a fucking endocrinologist and getting shots from an endocrinologist for a knee problem.
Yeah, your thyroid better be fucked up too.
Yeah, so just explain that one to me. And as a professional athlete, tell me why you would let anybody inject some shit into your body and you didn't go, what's in that?
No.
So that right there, the proof is in the pudding. And now let's fast forward to the card, or let's step present time.
And this is where George and I, to some degree, will have to contradict not contradict ourselves, but the method that Vitor Belfort knocked out Luke Rockhold was all skill.
Right.
It was skill. It was skill. And we're not gonna take that away from Vitor Belfort. So, and I've said all along, I'm a Vitor Belfort fan, but I'm more of a fan for people, a fair playing ground. You know what I mean? Was it a sensational fucking kick and knockout? Yes, because you never see that shit. It was phenomenal.
Especially from Vitor. It's something that even the guy John Annan said, or whatever his name was, well, we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So why is he pulling this shit out of his bag now?
Deborah Dark, who watches the show, tweeted, she says, what was going through Luke Rockhold's head? Oh, that's right.
Vitor's foot? Yeah.
That was
Jesus Christ. I mean, and Luke Rockhold just sat there. He's like, you
what could
won.
you do?
You just knocked me out. Now,
because you're not expecting that.
Bisping got caught with the same. Bisping got rocked, and Luke Rockhold got rocked. And both fights were in Brazil. I mean, now.
When it comes, I'm going to
go for it.
This is the thing, I think. I think with, TRT, tests, all the drugs, they help you out in a lot of ways. They help you out with recovery. They help you out with your physique. They help you out huge
mentally.
I think, honestly, with Vitor Belfort is the mental aspect of it is the biggest thing it helps him out with. I do. It gives him so much fucking confidence.
That he has God on his side.
God,
just ask him.
Well, his God is the physician that comes out with the syringe in one hand, like you said earlier, and the bottle of testosterone, and said, God is here, and God is ready to shoot you the fuck up so you look like a juice monkey.
My other favorite quote is, I'm strong as ever. This is the strongest I've ever been. You don't fucking
400 milligrams of Test a week will make you a very strong motherfucker. Trust me. I know. Not anymore, I don't. And neither do you.
So anyway, Vitor wins. This supposedly puts him in line to face the winner of Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva.
Right.
Cool. But
awesome.
I think the tweet, the quote of the night goes to Brian Stan, who has been, everyone refers to him as an American hero because he did his duty overseas. And I hope somebody is paying attention and reads this and takes it to heart and maybe pushes forward Dana White and more than just random testing. I mean, Dana White says, now if you have TRT exemption, we want to push for random testing on you. Right. The other thing that comes out of this is to get a huge payday, you normally have to fight in Vegas. Mm-hmm. The Athletic Commission in Vegas already said, oh, Vitor has a TRT an exemption?
Not here.
We're not giving him one here because of his previous failed test. We're just not doing it. Yeah. So that means they have to try to get Vitor, if they want, if I'm Vitor, I'll fight in Brazil and get knockout of the night wins. Yeah. But
the problem is, this is funny. It's not a good road for Vitor to go forward in that class because ultimately he has to fight. It's like after the post-fight interview, they're talking and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, he can only say, what is he going to say negative? Or he's already been beat by Anderson, and now you're talking about a legend in Brazil.
Well, what's amazing is after the fight, all the Brazilian media people start asking him about TRT and want to talk to him about TRT, and I don't know. I didn't hear it. I don't know the context, but he says somebody needs to beat that guy up. Just talk to my hand. I'm not talking about that. Okay, you're on TRT. It's a fact. It's something you have to deal with. You can't run from it. You shunned all the people who did it, then you come out as being a user, and now, dude, stand on your fucking milk crate and talk about how great it is and why you need it. I don't understand this dude at all.
This is the thing too, man. I mean, if you notice, we're talking about it more and more. Why? Because there's a fighter.
More and more prevalent.
It's more and more and why it's more and more prevalent because there's fighters that are doing very well, and it's very obvious that they're on it. So it's gonna start coming to the forefront of conversations. You're gonna start hearing people talk more about it. You're gonna see other fighters like Brian Stan. What did he tweet?
Brian Stan, after or before, sometime during the Vitor fight, he tweets, I'm not trying to be a jerk, and I'm not jealous of other fighters' success. I am secure with who I am, but allowing pro fighters to inject testosterone is just plain ridiculous.
Right.
And I agree. Yeah. I don't give a shit if you're 18 or 48. If you want to fight, you don't get to inject tests.
And that's coming from Brian Stan, who's a classy stand-up guy. But fighters, you saw with Big Country, you see guys that are clean, and they're like, okay, they're frustrated. You saw it with Bisping. And then when these fighters are moving up the food chain, and it's apparent that they're taking gear, people are going to start raising questions. Other fighters are going to start having a little animosity towards him because ultimately for us, we're watching it. We're being entertained. You could be a Vitor fan or a Dan Henderson fan or a Chael Sonnen fan, whoever the fuck it might be. But the bottom line is it's not taken away from our livelihood. It's not taken away from our paycheck. If I'm a fighter and I'm not on shit and one of those guys beats me and I'm thinking, okay, I just lost $20,000 in my purse, I'm being a little pissed about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's it, guys. Let us know below what you think about it. The event, and you're, obviously about Vitor. I mean, and before we go, it was a nasty fucking kick.
That was a skilled kick.
It was a skilled kick.
You don't do that without being on drugs and being able to train for 40 hours a week.
So maybe if he can get his head straight, clean it up, get to Vegas and do something like that in Vegas, where he's going to only be able to get away with 6-1 in Vegas?
4-1 in Vegas.
4-1 in Vegas and do that. And then, hey, I will fucking take the shoe off and put it in my mouth because,
Who's he going to beat in the top 5 without gear?
I don't know. The class is too stacked. Anyway, guys, we're out of here.